Please support the Feral Druid army. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Meow. Everybody, what is going on? This is Olfis, the Feral Druid, and today I'm going to bring you a guide on artifact pathing. Now, I know there's no specific way to do this, you can just fill it up your own way, but I'm going to tell you what I like and what I think is best for the Feral Druid in Legion. So, of course, you're starting out with the Shredder Fangs, which increases damage dealt by Shred. Now, moving from there, I decided to go with both Sharpened Claws and Tear the Flesh. I went full into these. Now, as I was leveling, I filled these out, so you should have these filled out by the time you're level 110. Maybe not, maybe you decided to go this route, or maybe this route. I don't know which way you guys decided to go, but if you're fresh to Feral, and you haven't, you've started filling out, you can go from there. I mean, eventually you're going to have this thing all filled out, but that might take some time. That might take until, the end of the expansion or until, the rating comes out. I don't know. If you do quests, you can fill this baby out quick. I haven't had a lot of time because my internet's been down and I've been lagging, but it's cool. Alright, so from Shredder Fangs, like I said, Sharpen Claws and Tear the Flesh. Now, the reason why I go with Tear the Flesh is because I like to put Rake on all targets. In Arena, I'll put Rake on 3 targets, 2 targets, whatever the case may be, and the reason why is because it slows, which is good for CC, and then that extra 28% damage on the amount of damage that it already does is really good. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you're rolling with Blood Sense and Brutal Slash, Blood Sense in your talents will give you 10% extra critical strike for bleeding enemies. So, not only is that good for your brutal slashes and shreds, but it's just good because, you're gonna rake up all your targets. So if you're brutal slashing and 3 of your targets have bleeds on them, your brutal slash is gonna hit all 3 targets, and the crit is gonna be increased by 10%. Now, why I go with Sharpened Claws is, well, because I'm rolling Brutal Slash, and Brutal Slash does amazing damage. And that 28% increase, I have 28% because I have Thirsty Bloodstone, which gives an extra rank to Tear the Flesh. And funny thing is, I actually have a Sharpened Claws stone as well. And it's a shard, it's a Frost Artifact Relic. So from there, what I did, now you can do either way. I decided to do Protection of Ashmane first, especially because, in PvP, you're going to do Swift Mend or Rejuvenation or Regrowth behind a pillar or something like that. Then you're going to want a little bit of protection because, hopping out of cat form for heals is one of those things that you do. And this is a way to keep you alive during that time, and, it'll get a lot of pressure off of you. Because sometimes I get out of cat form and I get stunned or something like that. I get CC'd, so having that is really good to have. You're gonna want it. Entangling Roots, the Hardened Roots, I like to have this because I'm an Entangling Roots fanatic right now. In arenas or battlegrounds, I like to throw an Entangling Roots on just a random target. Let's say I'm trying to get some pressure off my partner, and I have bleeds on him because, like I said, I bleed up all my targets. It works out well in my case. So from there, Feral Power, I only went 1 into this so far, only because I'm more interested in Open Wounds. Open Wounds just sounds so great. I mean, read this. The Fangs of Ashmane tear deep into the target, causing your attacks to ignore 15% of the target's armor while Rip is active. Do you hear that? Listen to this. So I'm going to tell you what I do. My burst consists of bleeding the target with a Rip and a Rake, and then Savage Roaring after a Shred, and then, get the Tiger Spear and Berserk up, but, and then Brutal Slashing. Now, if I have my Rip up, this is going to ignore 15% of the target's damage, or armor. Combine that with the 28% extra damage of Brutal Slash and then the Rake damage. I mean, come on now. There is no better burst in the game. I mean, I'm not going to speak for any other classes, but it's just intense. I could take down a whole enemy if I'm in a 2v2 and we have good enough CC. One of the main things you got to do as a Feral is survive. If you're no good, if you're not surviving, if you die, then you're just no good. And that's why Protection of Ashmane comes in. Now, I didn't decide to go up this route yet. I mean, 3 seconds, I mean, I figure if you do 3 ranks, you're going to get 3 seconds duration onto Survival Instincts, which is good. Now, that's a whole 6-second Survival Instinct, and the cooldown, or the Survival Instinct itself is 6 seconds, so that's like having 3 Survival Instincts, pretty much, in 2 charges, because, you know, you're adding that extra 6 seconds on overall. So that's really good to have. I'm probably going to pick that up after I hit up Open Wounds. So after I hit up Open Wounds, I'm going to head up Feral Power and Honed Instincts and make my way towards Shadow Thrash. Now, Thrash is one of those abilities that I don't normally use right now due to the lower damage that it does, but if I pick up Shadow Thrash, that might be something that will change. So far, let's do a middle of the artifact weapon recap on this guide here. So like I said, Shredder Fangs, and then you can go either way. You should have enough artifact power to get to about right here by the time you're 110. So I went with, you know, Sharpened Claws first, then I went with Tear the Flesh, then I went with Protection of Ashmane, and then Hardened Roots, and then I just threw this in here without really thinking. But it's okay, that extra 5% to shred's good. This is something that I eventually will pick up though, because you know, it's awesome, but I'd rather have this first, you know. So after Open Wounds, I'm going to go with Feral Power, and then Honed Instincts. Of course, you want to get attuned to nature, which I didn't even say anything about, but it increases healing touch by 45%, which is amazing. And from there, we're going to go with Ashmane's Energy or Feral Instinct, because this is the part where you're going to be at next. So you've pretty much filled out all of this, and now you're moving here. Now, Tiger's Fury generates an additional 5 energy every 1 second for 3 seconds. And then Razor Fangs, which increases damage dealt by Rip by 7%. Now this is one that I'm really getting my eye on here, and I'm thinking that once I get Shadow Thrash, I'm just going to go straight over here. Although this Feral Instinct, the Berserk, increases all damage you deal by 5%. So, I don't know. Either way, it's like, you know, wherever you want to go, you're going to get both eventually. But you know, and you're also going to be at the same spot where you'll get Scent of Blood next. Now again, Shadow Thrash and Scent of Blood, which I haven't mentioned, go together in a way. Each target hit by Thrash reduces the cost of Brutal Slash by 2 energy for the next 4 seconds. Now figure you're in a arena or a battleground, and you're bleeding up all your enemies. You got Rake on like 4 enemies nearby, and then you rip up 1 or 2 of them, you get your Savage Roar going, you thrash, and then you, well, before you thrash, you're gonna Berserk and Savage Roar, but then you thrash. And then right after that thrash, Brutal Slash, Brutal Slash, Brutal Slash. You get 3 Brutal Slashes right there, and the energy is reduced. Now, it'll be reduced by about 6 energy altogether, so it'll be 18 energy each. So what is that? 30, 50, 44? I don't know, I think it's 44. 44 energy to get your 3 Brutal Slashes off, which with Berserk, you're going to be recovering a lot of energy as it is, so that's really good to have. So, like once you get to this point, Scent of Blood, you know, it's pretty much make your way down here. I do recommend going the path that I said. I mean, you can mix it up as much as you want. You can skip this part, go ahead, or you can skip this part, go ahead. But I think you should mix it up, go a little bit of both. Just like work your way down, because these are some good abilities, and this one makes Thrash worthwhile, and this one makes it even better. So it's really cool. I'm really loving the Feral Druid artifact pathing. It's amazing. So Powerful Bite increases critical strike damage done by Ferocious Bite by 7%. Really good. 21% altogether when you get all 3 ranks. And then Ashmane's Bite. Your combo point generators against targets bleeding from your rip have a 10% chance to awaken the Spirit of Ashmane, which inflicts a shadowy duplicate of that rip on the target. That's fucking crazy. So like, you're gonna have 2 rips up on your target, along with your Rake and your Thrash that you've now acquired to be a good spell from these 2. So once you get this filled out, listen to me. Damage is crazy. I need to really grind up my artifact power and really level it up, because it's just going to be phenomenal. I want to be able to do this before arenas pop out, especially on September 20th. As far as my honor talents, I'm level 8 right now. I really do need to do some catching up. I need to get all the way to Rip and Tear and just get to level 50. I mean, this is 46, but I think there's 50 levels altogether before you prestige. I definitely will be level 50 before the arena season starts. So that's something to look forward to. If you're just now getting into your feral and taking it seriously and trying to go for the limit, I would get at least up to here before September 20th if you want to do some really good arenas, and then fill out your honor talents. I mean, I don't think it takes that long to level to 50. I mean, I've seen people who are already level 50, and some of them are level 30 or so. So that's something that you should like spend a little bit of time on. And also the world quests. The world quests give a lot of artifact power. So artifact power, like I said, is great for your weapon. This will just increase item level and make it that much better. So I hope you guys enjoy my video. Please subscribe, please like and comment. Share this with your feral buddy if you found it useful. If you want to see my full-on feral PvP guide, click the annotation on the screen and it'll take you there. I cover a little bit more of the tactics, survivability, and everything else that goes into the feral gameplay in arenas and battlegrounds. So like I said, thank you guys for checking out my video. Subscribe. Peace out.